tell you, the days I decided to record, it just so happens to be raining in California, especially in Fresno. Like I thought I got away from Oregon, but I'm telling you, like, it's kind of, when it rains over here, it's like not light rain. It rains super heavy, which is kind of odd. But I'll go to my car and we'll get right into the video. Jeez. So you guys deserve a little bit of an update, but long story short, I really contemplated selling my car and really thought about it, but I did come to the conclusion of keep my car. For those of you that don't know, I'm Josciel. I have a 2006 Chrysler 300 SRT8, and you can watch all my previous videos if you haven't already. Subscribe. I try to post as consistently as I can, but this is a little update for the reason why I took a break. I have been working a lot and I haven't really had time to really upload, but what really stopped me, if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, is I did contemplate selling the car, and I didn't want to keep on buying parts for the car and buying things for the car if I was gonna think about selling it. But I really thought about it, and it took some time, as you guys can tell with the lack of uploads and everything. I am gonna keep the car and I'm gonna make it the way I want. But let's get right into the video. This is 5 things I like about my Chrysler 300 SRT8, and this is 5 things I don't like about it. So let's get right into it. So to start off with, number 1 that I do like is obviously, like, Chrysler was considered luxury back then. I mean, it's they're still trying, but back then it was kind of considered luxury. And some of the features that are on this car that are not on a lot of today's cars is just the electric steering wheel and the memory seats. Yeah, I'm in my PJs. I'm a little cold. But just for example, like, just when I turn the ignition to, like, the on position, like, a lot of cars don't even do this today, and, like, my car, like, still does that and everything still works. Even when I had my AMG, it did this, but the feature ended up going out because I don't know what happened. The steering wheel kind of, like, messed up, so I had to do it all on my own. It never did the memory anymore. But this is one thing I really do love about the car. Like, every time I like turn it off and take the key out, it just goes back, and it still hasn't failed me till this day. And that's one major thing I really love about this car, is that like a lot of people's cars don't even do that. They have, like, the whole, like, they have to pull the lever and then pull it in and out, up, down, left, right. And mine does it on its own just because it has the memory seats over here too. And then when my girlfriend drives my car too as well, all she has to do is just press the number 2, and then it goes to all the specs that she has, which is, like, obviously sitting right in front of the steering wheel, and the steering wheel's like this, and seats all the way up to the ceiling and everything. So this is one thing I definitely love about this car. Going on to number 2 has a little something to do with this section again as well. When it comes, let me turn on my windshield wipers. Oh man, this is terrible. Okay, so another thing I really love about this car is that I have a digital speedometer and a whole bunch of other settings as well. I thought I turned my windshield wipers off. Okay, now they're off. But like I said, I have a digital speedometer, and that's one thing I really love it, because, like, obviously looking at this as a speedometer, it gets really annoying because, like, you kind of have to guess of where you're. I mean, obviously it's simple to understand, but, like, when you have a digital speedometer, it just makes life a lot more simple, especially with this one right here. I also have that speedometer, and like I said again, for this being a 2006 model, for 2006, like, that was advanced for its time, and like, this car was probably really ahead of its game during this year. Obviously now it's a little bit different. A lot of newer cars have digital speedometers and everything. There's even some cars today that don't have digital speedometers. I mean, I can't even talk. But that's another thing I really love about the car, and it has a couple other features as well. Obviously the RPM and, like, the engine temp, and then oil pressure, like, just a bunch of other features on this car, like the PSI, like a whole bunch of other features, like a whole bunch of, like, stuff that a lot of cars that today don't even have. But that's another thing I really love about this car. Like, especially for what makes me, like, really appreciate that is the year of the car, and just, like, Like, you gotta think about when this car was made back when it was like the production year. That was really advanced for when it was. So going on to number 3, I think this is kind of an obvious one, is definitely the SRT interior. I mean, SRT has never failed to have great interior when it comes to the seats. I mean, they're always usually a bucket seat, and they obviously have the leather, sometimes suede, or they never fail in the interior. They always do like justice on the interior. Even the newer models today, like the interior is probably like the best thing about these cars. Obviously the power too, but when it comes to like driving the car every day, you're definitely comfortable and you don't get tired of these seats. Like these seats, obviously, like they're like bucket seats, and they're really comfortable, and you just can't complain about an OEM seat that's like this. Like, obviously there's some seats that you can think about, like, oh, I want to change them, but these seats have been like great, and for how old they are, they're still in great condition. This is one thing I really like about my car as well. This is the interior. I really appreciate it, and even the rear seats as well. Kind of have a little bit of touch of the front. But that's number 3 that I like on this list that I really love. I'm not really gonna do too many of my exterior mods as things I like, because that's gonna be kind of obvious things I do like. But I'm gonna try to do as much as I can on the interior, because all my exterior is more of the mods I've done, but that's not really OEM things that I can appreciate. Obviously I can appreciate them because they're things I like, so I'm not gonna like focus on my wheels, my headlights, taillights, and all that. But it's gonna be more things that I like inside the car or outside of the car, that are kind of things that come with the car, not things I've added. So for number 4, the thing that I love about this car, it has to be that it's spacious. It's super spacious. When I first got the car, for it being like a car, not like an SUV or a truck, like, it's pretty spacious for what it is. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing I like about it. You feel comfortable, and you feel like the car itself on the exterior. If you guys seen like Chrysler 300s, they just look big bodied, and they kind of have, I like to call it an OEM wide body. Like, you guys don't really acknowledge it, but the Chrysler 300 has a wide body on it. Whether it's like not an aftermarket one, but like you can over exaggerate saying it's not a wide body, but like look at the way it sits. It generally sits like a wide body. If you look at the new like Chargers today, the way the fenders look like they've been slapped on, it's kind of the way the Chrysler 300s look with just OEM. But you don't really acknowledge it because it's OEM, and you don't really see it like that. It's not a wide body, but the way I see it is the Chrysler 300 has a wide body on it, and for me to run 22x11 305 tires on the rear, and it not to even peek out, it's a wide body. So that's one thing I really love about this car too, is that it just sits, it's like it's a boat, but it sits like mean and sits like wide, and I cannot say I don't like that, because if I do, and I like how like it's a presence on the road. It's not too small, and like you don't feel crammed in the inside and everything, but like it sits wide and it sits mean. And for number 5, it's honestly a sleeper. If you don't, I mean, I get this a lot. Is that even an SRT, or did you just put the SRT banner on your window because you like SRTs? And I'm like, no, it's an SRT. Best believe it's an SRT. A lot of people do not know about SRT8s, which kind of sucks, because of a lot of people just kind of think like, oh, it's not SRT, it's not SRT, or what the heck is even SRT8? Like, a lot of uneducated people like think that Chrysler is like, some people don't even know Chrysler is even part of Dodge, which is kind of concerning for all the people that are saying like that there's no strictly like Hellcat and that's it. Like, it's kind of sad, but in a way, it's literally all the same company. If you guys know about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and they're literally the same company. Even Alfa Romeo is part of the whole Mopar thing. But is that it's a sleeper, because a lot of people don't assume that this is SRT, because of the 300 is the default car. I'm not even gonna lie, like, if you see 300s, you see them everywhere. Like, I think I've already talked about this in my previous videos. Like, you see them everywhere on 24-inch chrome wheels, and they're stereotyped already, but like, they assume it's one of those, and they never expect that 6.1 Hemi. Not saying it's the fastest car in the world, but they don't assume that 4-door sedan to be pushing over 400 horse, which is what I love about this car. I've always loved 4-door V8s, just because of you don't expect it, and like it definitely catches a lot of people's eyes when they do hear my car, because of like you don't expect it, and it's very like when you see Chrysler 300, you obviously just think of a base model, just put some big ass wheels, but that's not the case for everybody. In my case, I do have wheels, I do have everything, and like a lot of different exterior mods, but you don't always assume it's a Chrysler 300 SRT8 just because of you see them everywhere, and the SRT8 is probably one of the most uncommon ones out of I think the Chrysler 300 SRT8 is probably the most uncommon SRT, just because of I don't think they made too many of them with the Chrysler. Obviously, you see Dodge SRT8s everywhere. You see the Jeep SRT8s. You see the Challengers, the Chargers, but you hardly see the 300. Even this year when they came out with the brand new 300 SRT8, they only made like I think like 2,000 of them. So they were very limited, and you hardly ever see them. So that's why I appreciate this car, and what made me want to keep it even more, just because of you don't see it every day, and it's very uncommon, and it's also that four-door sleeper. But now we're gonna go on to the things I dislike about this car, and yeah, so those are all the 5 things I did like about the car. But let's go into the things I don't like about the car. Starting at number 1, the thing I don't like about this car is you see the damn car everywhere. Like, I think I can't stress this enough. I've probably said this in probably like every single video. The body itself is literally everywhere. Like everywhere. Like you see this body everywhere, which kind of sucks. But then not everybody has that 6.1 Hemi. So that's a plus about it. But that's the only thing I don't like, is just you see the car everywhere, and it kind of sucks because of I'm telling you, it's a default car, but I happen to get lucky and get the highest trim of it. So that's number 1, definitely number 1. It's everywhere, and that's one thing I don't like about it. You see it everywhere, but it's a car that needs to be appreciated, but it's not, because you see it as like regular traffic. So coming in at number 2, it's definitely going to be the center console, or not the center console, but the dash, because it looks so basic, and it was very interchangeable for Dodge and Chrysler, because they use this center console in like every 2006 model car that they had, which kind of sucks because it's super basic. And I guess the only plus about this one is that Dodge didn't get the little clock like Chrysler did. But even then, this sometimes works when it wants to. Like, it's definitely not 3 o'clock right now. So that's just there for looks. But I wish they would have did a better job. Obviously, it's 2006, so I can't complain about it. But if I had a choice, I would definitely like change that up. I mean, I've been trying to look for aftermarket center consoles, or not stereos, but dash kits, because of I'm not really a fan of it, but it's there, and I can't really. That's the reason why I went with the whole iPad look. My iPad's in the house right now, but that's the reason why I put the iPad above it, so I can ignore the way that this all looks. But that's definitely number 2 on my list, because of it's nothing crazy, and I don't really like that. I like a good interior, solid interior when it comes to the dash. But so this is definitely number 2 on my list. Going on to number 3, it has to be this stupid steering wheel. I mean, Dodge Chrysler couldn't really come up with a better steering wheel design. I mean, I freaking hate the way the steering wheel looks, just because of this airbag. I mean, I think it looks stupid. Obviously, there's aftermarket steering wheels. That's what I'm really trying to look for to get, is because of I really don't hate the way the steering wheel looks, and the aftermarket steering wheel, like the carbon fiber trim and everything, like that looks way better than whatever the heck this is. I definitely really hate this, just because of it's so basic, and I'm really a sucker for steering wheels, especially after when I had my Mercedes. Like, that's one thing I really loved about it, is the steering wheel. But this steering wheel sucks, and you can't say it doesn't. I mean, this airbag is just massive, and it's super plain. But I wish they would have done something a little bit better about the steering wheel. But obviously, it's an American car, so they didn't really go too crazy on it. But that's something I definitely do hate about this car. So that's number 3 for me, and I think it's probably number 3. It's probably a top thing they don't like about everybody that owns these type of cars. This is one thing they probably don't like about it either. Going on to number 4, I mean, this is you can be picky about it or not, but I'm a sucker for steering wheels, but I'm also a sucker for keys, and this is definitely an ugly key. I got the red key. This is to unlock my 700 horses, in case you're wondering.
Boy, if you don't get...
When I'm feeling a little like normal and want to save some gas, I'll take off the red key and I'll make it black and keep it at 500. So yeah, it's definitely one thing I really hate about it is the key. I'm definitely going to be looking into try to convert it to a push to start so I can get a whole nother key fob. But this key fob is like, it's stupid and I don't like it. So this is definitely number 4 on my list because of it. You can't say this key looks dope at all. I mean, it's literally it's like a default car with a default key. That's one thing I don't like about this car as well. But I mean, like I said, if I'm feeling a little dangerous, I'll keep the 700 horsepower on. But when I'm not, we'll go to the black key and tone it down for everybody on the street. All right, for number 5, I'm not gonna show you guys, but the battery is in the trunk. That's something I hate about this car. My car has died a couple times, but especially when I first got it and my alternator was bad and I didn't know it yet. Jumping the car is so annoying because of going from hood to trunk isn't always convenient, especially when you're parked like reverse or something. And if your car dies, getting in the trunk is not simple because of your complete, like, there's no power to the car, and the only way to get in the trunk is you pull down those seats and you got to go to the trunk and pull the latch. And sometimes I've had my trunk completely packed, and it's happened literally like a couple of times. My trunk's completely packed and I had to go like squirm through it to pull the latch. And having the trunk and the battery in the trunk is so annoying because it's so inconvenient, and I don't get why they couldn't put it in the front, but it makes sense because they couldn't even fit it up there. And so that's gonna be number 5 for me. But overall, I freaking love the car. The community that comes with the car, Mopar or no car. When you're on Mopar, you get all the team, you get everybody on your side when it comes to Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler. So that's what's nice about the community, especially with this car. You get a big community that comes with the car as well, no matter what model it is. But I mean, I love this car. I mean, I really, the reason why I contemplated getting rid of it is because of, was just because of, like, I wanted to try something new, see if I can find something new. But then I knew getting rid of this car would probably take a big toll on me because of all the things I've done to the car. But it's definitely going to stay, and I'm definitely doing everything I can to bring content with you guys to make this car even more of a beast. I'm not gonna try to just tell you guys, but I am gonna try to plan on camming the car. It's just a matter of finding somebody that can do it out here in California, and finding a tuner to tune it to get all the timing right. But that's gonna come with time, and I hope you guys stay around long enough to witness it. And that's my plan with this car, because I knew if I was gonna keep the car, I'm gonna do what I truly wanted to do with this car, and cam it and do as much as I can, possibly NA. I don't think I ever want to go boost route because I love the way NA is, but obviously boost is another world. You can play with boost, but it's gonna come with more problems. But obviously when I do get that type of money and have the time to do it, I'm gonna do everything I can to make this car as fast as it can NA. But it's gonna come with time, and I hope you guys stay around to even witness that. A little update for you guys too as well. So I hope you guys stay tuned for all the next videos, and I appreciate you guys for even subbing still, even though I haven't been uploading lately. We're already almost to 400 subs, and we literally just did a giveaway for 300. So I appreciate that, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, share my videos. I really appreciate it. And once we get to 400, we'll do another giveaway. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway every 100 subs, so just stay tuned for those, and they're always gonna be announced on my socials. If you haven't already, follow my car page right here, SRT8 Josciel. I'll be posting on there as well, and right here as well, my TikTok, j.ocl. Same thing as my YouTube username, but just with the period after the J. We're almost at 1,000 on TikTok right there, so don't forget to go follow that as well. On Instagram, I think we just hit 300 followers. So let's keep on growing. I told myself if I ever hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to strictly grind on YouTube as much as I can. It's just a matter of all the support I get from you guys. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm forcing you guys to sub. You guys watch my videos if you like my videos, but I appreciate if you do sub. But I'm gonna do everything I can to keep on providing content for you guys. It's just been a little slow lately. I've been working a lot, and I've been dealing with family over here. So I'm just doing everything I can to keep on uploading for you guys, and I'm gonna try to do everything I can to stay consistent. Obviously, this was a little bit of a roadblock, but now that I have my mind straight of what I want to do with this car, I'm gonna keep on posting like I was before. But I did take a little break to really think about what I wanted to do. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.